Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to the channel, where we meticulously examine the intricate lives and often tumultuous fortunes of the British royal family and the figures orbiting their rarefied sphere. Before we delve into this deeply unsettling narrative, if you appreciate these detailed explorations of history and celebrity, please do remember to gently tap that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss one of our comprehensive updates. Your support truly allows us to continue bringing you these stories. Today we turn our attention to a figure who has long navigated the choppy waters of royal life, scandal, and public scrutiny. Sara Ferguson, the former Duchess of York, affectionately known to many simply as Fergie. The news surrounding her current state is stark indeed. We are hearing reports that the ex-wife of Prince Andrew is facing a crisis of significant magnitude, one that has plunged her into a state of profound fear regarding her future. The narrative emerging from those close to her paints a picture of a woman anxiously awaiting what sources are calling an angel to sweep in and rescue her from a deeply troubled, perhaps even perilous situation. It is a desperate plea for salvation in the face of what appears to be an impending financial and social collapse. It is well documented that the former Duchess has, in recent times, attempted to step back from the intense glare of public life. Yet paradoxically, her presence in international headlines remains stubbornly persistent. This visibility is not, unfortunately, due to triumphant philanthropic endeavors or literary success. Rather, it is fueled by a continuous stream of scandal and, perhaps more devastatingly, a series of calculated and painful snubs, or outright exclusions, from the very institutions she once belonged to, the royal family itself, and the numerous charities and organizations she once contributed to with great fanfare. The gravity of her current emotional and financial state cannot be overstated. An insider, speaking on the condition of anonymity due to the sensitivity of the royal connections involved, recently claimed that the Duchess of York is now simply waiting for a miracle to happen. This phrase, waiting for a miracle, speaks volumes about the perceived impossibility of her extricating herself through conventional means. The source emphasized that she is profoundly worried, consumed by anxiety regarding her overall well-being, and her capacity to maintain the semblance of the life she has always known. The core of this crisis, as reported by a separate source to the investigative news outlet Radar Online, centers on her finances. Fergie, who is now 66 years old, is reportedly desperate to find a benefactor for her lifestyle. This isn't a search for a modest retirement plan, this is a frantic, high-stakes scramble to secure the immense capital required to maintain the undeniably lavish lifestyle she has meticulously cultivated and grown accustomed to over decades. This necessity has become acutely painful following the formal loss of certain royal titles and privileges, coupled with a worrying and persistent dwindling of her personal finances. The pressure is immense. The sources indicate that the Duchess is currently panicking about her long-term financial future, especially now that she has been unequivocally cut adrift from the structured, if often complex, financial support mechanisms traditionally afforded to senior, or even quasi-senior, members of the royal household. The safety net, it seems, has been removed entirely. The subsequent move, according to these same insiders, is a highly calculated, if highly risky, one. They claim that Fergie has now initiated what they describe as a desperate hunt for a wealthy suitor. This is not merely a social search, this is a strategic effort to find a powerful financial anchor. Those who are intimately acquainted with the parameters of her existence, the vast homes, the necessary staff, the international travel, the couture clothing, are unanimous in their assessment. She will not, under any circumstances, compromise on her life of established luxury. She is reportedly steadfastly determined to find an individual, a partner, a patron, a benefactor, with the requisite wealth and willingness to fund her next chapter, ensuring that the trappings of a duchess remain firmly in place, even if the formal status continues to erode. One friend of Fergie's, speaking candidly about the seriousness of the situation, offered a poignant insight into her current mindset. Sarah's always been a survivor, the friend conceded, acknowledging her historical resilience through past scandals and financial scrapes. But this time she's genuinely scared. The idea of slipping into obscurity, or worse, running out of money and facing genuine hardship, is haunting her. The friend continued to detail the Duchess's internal dialogue. She's telling people quite openly that she needs to find a man with real, substantial wealth who can help her keep living the way she is used to. It is the defining priority of her life right now. To truly understand the depth of her current predicament, one must look back at the events that led to this catastrophic loss of support and public standing. Sara Ferguson faced months, even years, of relentless humiliation, following a specific, devastating revelation. The leak of emails that laid bare her correspondence and connection with the disgraced financier and convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. The impact of this revelation was catastrophic. The correspondence showed a relationship that was, at least on paper, far closer and more trusting than many in royal circles found acceptable, especially given the increasingly horrific nature of the allegations surrounding Epstein. Most damagingly, in one specific, highly publicized email, the Duchess once astonishingly described Jeffrey Epstein as a steadfast, generous, and supreme friend. This designation, affixed to a man whose crimes had become globally notorious, caused immediate and irreversible reputational damage. The fallout from this association was immediate and pervasive, exacerbating her already precarious position within the royal establishment. While she had lost the coveted Her Royal Highness title upon her divorce from Prince Andrew, she had managed to retain significant public roles and patronages. Now, however, the financial scrutiny and the public image crisis have intensified exponentially. The source text indicates that her remaining titles have officially been lost, signaling a final, formal severing of ties to the structure of the monarchy. While the source text contains a confusing reference to Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie in this context, the clear meaning is that Sara Ferguson's residual formal status and the public roles associated with her royal connection have been terminated. Her public image, already fragile, is now described as being completely in tatters. And perhaps most critically, her personal finances are now under intense, unprecedented scrutiny. This combination of factors, the loss of status, the public shaming due to the Epstein link, and the drying up of royal subsidies, has placed her in this desperate position. It is crucial to remember that maintaining a life of luxury, particularly one associated with royal connections, is not merely expensive. It is ruinously so without a consistent, enormous stream of income or institutional support. Properties must be maintained, security must be paid for, and a certain global presence must be kept up. In response to this existential crisis, the Duchess is, according to observers, attempting a massive strategic overhaul of her public image. She is reportedly on way to rebrand herself as a glamorous, independent woman. This phrase, glamorous, independent woman, is a carefully crafted narrative designed to appeal to potential benefactors and to the public imagination, suggesting a powerful, self-sufficient figure rising above adversity. However, the sources close to the situation are far more cynical about the true motivation behind this rebranding effort. One source succinctly summarized the reality, stating, "She's desperately framing it as a fresh start, a powerful new chapter, but in truth, it's more of a bailout." This distinction between a fresh start and a bailout is essential. A fresh start implies autonomy and financial stability, achieved and repeated through personal endeavor. A bailout confirms desperation and dependence on external, substantial financial rescue. The former Duchess is, therefore, walking a tightrope, attempting to project strength while internally confronting the stark reality of her vulnerability. Let us elaborate further on the immense pressure she is under. When a figure like Sara Ferguson is cut adrift from royal support, it affects far more than just a monthly allowance. It involves the loss of subsidized security details, access to royal residences, or the financial assistance required to maintain grand private residences, and the inherent credibility that comes with having the royal family's implied sanction. To maintain the appearance of the life she has led, the life of a well-connected, high-profile individual, requires millions, not thousands, annually. Furthermore, the scandal surrounding the Epstein connection has severely curtailed her ability to earn income through traditional means, such as major corporate endorsements or high-level public speaking engagements, which were once lucrative avenues for her. Who wishes to associate their brand with the phrase steadfast, generous, and supreme friend of a criminal of Epstein's magnitude? The reputational taint is deep and long-lasting, effectively closing off many doors that might otherwise be open to a former member of the royal household. The decision, therefore, to embark on a desperate hunt for a wealthy suitor is less a romantic quest and more a financial survival strategy. It demands a partner who is not only rich, but exceptionally tolerant of public scrutiny, past scandals, and the complicated, ever-present shadow of the royal family, particularly given her enduring connection to Prince Andrew, who himself remains embroiled in his own legal and social challenges. For a woman of 66, who has spent her adult life in the highest echelons of society, the prospect of losing that luxury is genuinely terrifying. The friend's assessment that the idea of slipping into obscurity is haunting her is understandable. For figures whose identity is inextricably linked to status, fame, and wealth, the loss of those elements can feel like a complete annihilation of self. The rebranding effort as a glamorous, independent woman is thus a facade designed to attract the necessary assistance. It is an image meant to suggest vitality and opportunity, rather than the profound financial vulnerability she is reportedly experiencing behind closed doors. The market for a royal consort is small and the requirements are steep, demanding that she present the most appealing, stable, and valuable version of herself possible. This entire situation serves as a dramatic and frankly tragic illustration of the precarious nature of life on the periphery of the monarchy. While the initial entry into the royal family brings unimaginable privilege and access, the exit, particularly one marred by scandal and divorce, leaves the individual exposed to the harsh realities of the commercial world without the protective shield of the institution. Sara Ferguson, despite her resilience, now finds herself facing this exposure head-on, awaiting an external savior to prevent what she fears most: financial ruin and irrelevance. It is a truly remarkable turn of events for a woman who once commanded global attention simply by virtue of her marriage. The contrast between her former status as the radiant Duchess of York and her current position, an individual anxiously seeking a miracle benefactor, is a story worthy of a dramatic royal epic. As we conclude our detailed look into this evolving situation, the key takeaways remain clear. Sara Ferguson is in significant financial distress, her public standing is severely damaged by the Epstein revelations, and she is actively seeking a multi-million-pound rescue package, packaged as a new relationship to maintain her opulent existence. The clock is ticking, and the angel she awaits has yet to materialize. What are your thoughts, dear viewers, on this extraordinary situation? Do you believe the Duchess of York will successfully find the benefactor she needs to secure her financial future and maintain her lifestyle? Or do you think this desperate situation is a culmination of years of financial mismanagement and scandal that she can no longer escape? Please share your opinions, insights, and historical context in the comments section below. We read every single one of your thoughtful contributions. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth royal analysis, and join us next time as we continue to track the fortunes and misfortunes of the most compelling figures in the world. Thank you for watching.